Hey, this is Ryan from Dakota Angler and Outfitter, and today we're going to be tying a Chubby Chernobyl. We're using a Daiichi 1280 dry fly hook and 210 denier tan ultra thread. You start your thread right behind the eye of the hook, bring it back a little ways and you can trim off your excess, and bring your thread all the way to the back, kind of right between the point and the barb, a little closer to the barb. Then we're going to take some ice dub and UV tan. And you're going to make just kind of a little bump at the back of the hook, and we're actually going to tie our foam down right in the middle of it once we get it done. Don't hesitate to make this fly pretty chunky. They like the body to be a little fatter, I think. If you make the body real slender, it's hard to make the fly look good. So give a little mass to it. Alright, so then bring your thread right to the center of that ball of dubbing. And then I've cut a piece of foam that's probably 3/8 of an inch wide maybe. You want it to be about double your body width, I would say. Then you want it to hang just a bit off the back of the hook. So kind of pinch that over the hook with your left hand and do a couple loose wraps. Make sure your thread's pretty flat when you're doing this too. If it's really tight, it'll cut through the foam. And then kind of just slowly keep building the pressure will help you not cut the thread too. Alright, so we've got that. Then we're going to take a couple perfectly barred silly legs in tan, sand actually I believe this color is called. And we'll do one on each side. So tie one in on the close side. Bring your vise over and tie one in on the other side as well. The loose wrap is really helpful for getting those to sit how you want them to sit. So now we're going to take, there's a bunch of different stuff you can use for the wings on these. Widow's web is a good one. I'm using EP fibers here in white for the wing. And what I do is you get a piece that's roughly half the diameter that you want your total wing to be. So I mean, if you want your wing to be twice this, your total wing will be twice this thick when you're done. Just kind of make sure you've got enough long fibers in this. You're going to tie it down right in the middle. Do about 3 wraps to hold it down. And zoom out a bit here. And then you can fold this back. This kind of helps prop the wing up. If you tie it in all facing backwards, your wing ends up at more this angle. If you tie it in this way, your wing will stick up more, which makes it easier for you to see as well when you're fishing the fly. And just kind of build a little thread dam right in front of the EP fibers. Just enough to kind of get it headed the right direction. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some more ice dub and we're going to cover up that thread where we tied that down. And then we're going to bring our dubbing up to the front of the hook to complete the body also. The dubbing kind of forces the wing back. I prefer to do it this way because, like I mentioned, it's a lot easier to keep track of the fly when that wing sits really high. We fish this fly a lot in like really fast, choppy riffles, and it makes it a lot easier to keep track of it. Like that. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good there. You can kind of adjust the rubber legs if they've gotten a little crazy, which they often do. You can adjust these at the end too. Alright, so then kind of fold everything back, and we're going to wrap our body now. Same thing, don't be afraid to make it pretty rotund. Make it kind of even too if you can. Don't be afraid, you can go back and cover up some stuff with this ice dub, isn't a problem at all. And what we're going to do here is you're just going to bring it all the way to the front and bring it back. So we're going to tie the foam down on top of the dubbing just like we did on the back. So it doesn't have to look super pretty right now. You're going to take some more dubbing and clean that up a little bit later. So now, pull this forward, pinch it with your left hand, loose wrap, a little tighter wrap, little tighter wrap, and then do a tight one to cinch everything down. And we're pretty much just going to repeat the steps we did on the back of the hook on the front. So first we'll do 2 more rubber legs, one on each side. And we'll take and we'll trim all this stuff and trim the wing and the legs later to whatever length you want them. Tie that in. One more wrap just to make sure it's secured. Then we'll take, while we're at it, we'll take and trim the foam here. You want it to hang out roughly the same as the back of the hook. Like that. You can round those if you want. You can leave them square. I haven't found it to make any difference, so I usually just leave it square. But now we're going to take some more EP fibers, and same thing as the back. Do half as much as you want your total wing to be, because you're going to fold it over and double it. I usually make the front wing just a little bit bigger probably than the back. But same as the back, tie it down right smack dab in the middle. Loose wrap, and just kind of continue to get tighter until you get to about your 4th wrap, and it should be pretty well secured. And we'll fold it back. If you have any stray fibers, you can either pull them out or trim them right now too. Like that. Then we'll take a little more tan ice stub, just like we did on the back, and make a little dam to kind of prop that wing up. Alright, and then take and fold this back. Make sure you're not trapping your rubber legs down too when you're doing this. It's easy to get through a step of the fly and find out one of your rubber legs is trapped underneath your dubbing or your wing or something. There you go, about like that, maybe one more. That just kind of gives that wing a nice backwards angle, as well as making it go up also, so it's way easier for you to see when you're fishing the fly. Right, so I kind of just pull everything back out of the way. If you have just a little bit of dubbing, you can kind of use it up here. I've got a little too much, so I need to pull some off. But just kind of do a nice little tapered head on this. And fold everything back. And then you can go ahead and whip finish. Whip finishing these is kind of tricky sometimes because you got to get all your rubber legs and everything out of the way. Oops, like that. Yeah, let's just do a couple half hitches on this one since I got all this stuff in the way. Make sure I lost a couple turns of thread there. The 210 denier helps too on these. If you use lighter thread, it's hard to get everything tied down the way you need it to, and the whole fly will end up just kind of spinning around the hook. Alright, so now what we're going to do, I like to take your wing. You can trim these whatever length you want. I kind of like to just pick an angle and cut them both at the same one. So hold everything kind of the angle your wing is going to sit. Like that. Kind of a nice uniform wing. You can take and trim it whatever length you want. I like it pretty big so you can see it. we use this fly for an indicator a lot, so that's helpful. Then you can take and trim your rubber legs. I just generally kind of even them up. I like them long so they move a fair amount. But that's it. This is a great fly for, I mean, all over Montana, Wyoming. We use it in the Black Hills here a lot. I really like it for an indicator pattern in the summer. You can fish this with whatever kind of nymph. I use this in a jig nymph a lot, especially on Spearfish Creek. So, thanks.